Who's pretty much your spokesman for dealer takes four on band equipment? Adam or
Adam, so I've been talking to. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose we should probably get a contract or something for them too. Oh, hi, Steve.
Hello. How's you doing? How everybody how is everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. As you can tell, I was multitasking, so
Yeah.
just chopped on.
That sounds good. We're just gonna get started. I think we're gonna miss a few people, and Stacy will just come in late.
Okay.
Yeah. Call to order. You want to do roll call?
Cynthia McCoy?
Callie McDermott.
Robin Barrett,
Almost on and you're kind of talking into it.
Kristen Hansen.
And Steve
Beth.
Fitzgerald.
Joe McDonald, Town of Fraser.
Sarah Wick, Town of Fraser.
Cool. Anyone want to approve the meeting minutes from last month?
I move to approve the minutes.
Maybe a second.
I second. Can I second?
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
And then approval of the agenda for today.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Eyes have it. Just, let's welcome our new member, Beth. Welcome. Do you want to give us a little short bio and like what you hope to accomplish and that kind of thing?
I'm Beth. I live in Fraser. I own Gather Collective, where Anastasia's office is. And the mural festival has been on my lawn since the beginning. That's how I knew about you guys. And I just want to be a part of the arts. I really do.
Welcome.
So
Welcome. Are you an artist yourself?
I used to be. Now I just work on houses.
What was your
I was a
medium?
painter.
Okay. Kind of.
And a ballerina. I was a ballerina. Acrylic.
Did you have a certain style or subject that you like?
Mostly life drawing humans.
Uh-huh.
And Beth, once an artist, always an artist.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
Yeah,
Now I
do
just
that.
tile and drywall.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good at it.
Well, thanks for joining us. We are in the midst of planning for the mural festival. So sweet. Yeah, all the fun things going on there. Cindy just gave us a lowdown on some sound stuff. So we're in the process of working out sound for the band on Saturday for the award ceremony. Steve, are you going to be around for that to give your awesome speeches?
Sure.
Great. I love that. You're definitely great at doing that.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Uh,
Oh, and I also, just as an FYI, I have all the awards for the artists, everything but glazed. So
Cool.
it's all on schedule.
Awesome.
We'll need big checks or a big check.
We did big checks, right?
Did we do that last year? I don't even remember.
I think we forgot them the year before, and then we might have had them last year.
I'll get big checks. Mandatory, right?
Mandatory big checks, yeah. Cool. Well, that's awesome. The two things we need to work out are Sign Up Genius for volunteer stuff. So we can get that on the website, hopefully by July. And then finding some businesses who want to give out some lunches or dinners, whatever, to the artists. Typically the distillery, Sharky's, I don't think Fisher's did last year. The meat pies, yeah. No, but yeah, reaching out to those guys. Again, hopefully we can do that all by July, so we're set up at our next meeting. So those are my two important things. We do have 29 confirmed artists. I was waiting on hearing back from Dominique, hopefully by today. And
Did we use the wait list at all?
yes, I did use 2 people off the wait list.
Great.
A third one never responded, and then Dominique who had not responded to the original call, got back to me and said she would let me know by Monday or Tuesday, but it's Thursday. So, we might just need to do one more off the wait list.
What was that number?
29 right now. And then the 2 folks doing the chairs confirmed. So just need to make sure whatever you need from us
And the doors?
to do that. Oh, the doors are not happening during the mural festival. We kind of revamped that idea just because it excluded local artists already competing in the mural fest. So KFFR is going to do that on July 29th for the picnic in the park.
Okay.
So they're going to handle putting out a call for artists for that stuff, and they're going to live broadcast on the 29th. And hopefully have artists painting that Tuesday. So then they could kind of rope in some of the artists who are joining for the Mural Fest. So they'll display the doors at the Mural Festival, but we're not going to do anything with the doors during the weekend. So that's nice. Yes. Yep. And then it falls more on them, and we're not really needed for
Right.
any of that stuff.
Cool.
So July 29th will just be a really big picnic in the park. Yeah. Let's see.
So we're still looking for one, and I'm sure you're just waiting for correspondence on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I told her the end of the day yesterday, and so I sent her another message this morning. And if I don't hear, I would really like to have her in because she's been here for the last 5 years. Dominique Montoya, at least 3.
3.
Yeah. So if not, then I'll just invite one other person from the wait list. I have gotten 2 emails from people on the wait list asking.
Yeah.
Well, she understands that we have a waiting list, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd already put her as declined until I saw her email. So, and then I'll get an email out to all the artists by Saturday, hopefully by tomorrow, because I'm leaving and not gonna do anything with that.
You'll be too busy.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, anything else pertaining to Mural Fest you want to chat about? Do you want to?
From my end, I'm kind of waiting on everybody to confirm to update the website.
Mhm.
I'm talking with Stephanie Best at Black Tie Ski Rental because we're talking about maybe putting a larger cluster
doing
on
that?
that end.
On the street, so.
Yeah, and
That'd be a good location.
then, yeah, I'll create posters and start doing some advertising and all of that stuff.
Cool.
But we're just I'm in limbo with
That.
Yeah.
Cool. So maybe you'll probably have to solidify the map before next meeting, right? Yeah. Okay, but still the same concept, everything's spread out from HTA to distillery or the Black Tie Ski Company area. Per Carrie's email, she did say that the Valley Life Church would like to have some artists in their parking lot. I feel like that's a little far off, but she did say something about setting up a bounce house, music, and refreshments for the community on Saturday. I feel like we can obviously encourage them to do whatever they want, and we can add something to the map
Okay.
with them on it.
It would help if it was to the backside, not to the parking lot, because that can be seen from the road, you know what I mean? So it's-
Yeah.
So, they can be seen to stop, slow down traffic and kind of go like that.
Yeah.
Correct. That's a little problematic in getting others, but that's not impossible.
Yeah, and I think that can just be all on them. I feel like it would be, another half a block to walk from Yellow House murals and our info tent and stuff. So
And it's kind of stretched out. Or like direct to the bank instead of fast hack out as we had done. Which would have been easier to come up with, but
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Are we doing check-in on a Saturday morning too?
That is what I have in my email.
Okay.
I don't feel like, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like people need to stay another night. Some people might stay. But
That's fine. I
yeah,
was just
I think more people checked in on that Friday morning anyway.
wondering.
Saturday.
no, Friday morning, they're paying.
Fri-
Oh,
they're-
sorry,
yeah,
morning,
Friday.
That's what I meant.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It was
I'm at Friday
Thursday
morning.
For a long time, it was Thursday nights.
Yeah, yeah.
Checked in.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
But that seemed to work pretty effectively at that location, actually, because it's so centralized to everything.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I haven't talked to her, but I'm sure she'd be fine with it. Yeah. And we could do like a meet and greet on Friday night with the artists if we want to, but I have a feeling most of them will be painting into the evening anyway. So, yeah. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I think pretty much keeping everything that timeline wise the same as last year
Okay.
would be great. And then Sunday, I did put in this email encouraging the artists to stick around for Sunday since they're doing the fab market. And the auction still goes until then, and the awards too. So,
They get to
um,
sell their own stuff from their own locations, right? For that?
yes,
As long as they have the business license.
correct. Or, I mean, if they have a Colorado sales tax,
Yes.
Colorado retail sales tax and use license, they don't have to have the business license, but I think it's $20. So,
Yeah. Cool. That's what
Um,
I said, but-
yeah, so that is in the email too. So hopefully we'll get some of them that stick around for Sunday.
We should also ask the chamber to promote this on the Thursday night before for the music in the park up in Winter Park. I know we'll do it in Fraser.
Okay.
But usually they
That's a
just
good
need a
idea.
reminder.
Yep.
Yeah, what were you saying, Joe?
So given that the artists are making, if their mural sells, they are making a profit on their sale. Have we not required each of the artists to have that sales tax piece following through this? So that even though, you don't understand what I mean, like the subtlety of but the final product is going to be sold, therefore it is a, you know, an exchange of money and other things. That's never been an issue before.
Mm-mm.
But is it something that will come up eventually? Or
Well, you're talking about the sale of the mural?
sale?
It did come up this year. Cami Galfour with the, her sold for a lot. She asked us, Fraser Valley Arts, for like a donation, proof of donation, because technically her half of the mural was a donation to Fraser Valley Arts. So that has not come up before, and I didn't know that it was a donation. So
If that's included in the thing going forward, maybe not for this.
Yeah.
But that's included in the process of getting the artists here. And then the fee, that then they can just bring their stuff and sell it. They don't have to go through any extra steps kind of thing to be able to, promote, because I know Beth is, they usually give that stuff away, the paintbrushes, the other things that they do. But
Yeah.
there have been other artists who have tried to sell, kind of stuff in there. And it just struck me as like, okay, if we're gonna require them to do this, then.
well, I think we were lax on that before, but
Well,
technically,
hold on. So there isn't a clear legal or tax opinion on that. I've talked to 3 different tax attorneys or accountants on this subject over the last few years and gotten 3 different answers. So what we did with Cami is I simply wrote a letter that stated what happened, that she sold a mural for X, she kept Y, and X or Z went to Fraser Valley Arts. And I told her, as I will tell anybody else, we don't know, and nor do we profess to have the definitive answer on whether or not that is tax deductible. That's up to you. and your tax advisor, but we were happy to provide you with a statement of what happened. And everybody seems to be fine with that.
Okay.
And we've
And
done-
given that, the Trump has laid off the entire IRS, who's going to audit them?
And we've never charged sales tax on any of the sales we've ever done for the murals, right? They've all been just a straight bid and that was it kind of thing. We've never put a tax piece into the sale of each of those murals, correct?
I feel like when the town did it, I can't remember, like initially the town was managing all of the sales. But then it went to Fraser Valley Arts. I feel like it was tax exempt. Or that's the way I had it set up in hand bid, but
Yeah, it should be tax exempt because
Yeah.
we're also tax exempt. But it's more about whether or not they can then deduct, if Cami sold her mural for $5,000, can she deduct all of that, or 2,500 as a donation? Versus that just being a cost of doing the event, the festival.
So last year when I did hand bid, we did not collect sales tax.
Yeah.
So,
makes sense.
was your question pertaining to the murals being sold or the artists selling their
I was
goods?
just wondering whether it could be relevant. Same thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, my understanding when Antoinette and Sarah and I met was that if they're selling their goods, they should have a business license.
Yep.
So it's either, if they're a Colorado, they probably have the Colorado retail sales tax
So that's
license.
my question. They're
Yes.
also-
But just about every
Yeah, but
municipality, including Winter Park or the Alpine Art Affair, when you sell something in their town, you should be paying them their cut. And that, it's up to the town of Fraser to decide if they want to enforce that for these small sales that people have.
If it's thousands of dollars, it's not a small sale.
Yeah, and I
It's
feel
not
like,
the murals.
but
It's not-
maybe the
we're not
difference
talking
is with the
about
murals is
Oh,
that we
fact.
are selling them
Right.
as the nonprofit, technically.
That's why I was curious.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So who is doing Sign Up Genius and are we all just gonna try to reach out to the food vendors? I wanted to circle back on that, just for some clarity.
Anybody who wants to, if anybody wants to stick up their hand for
I can do Sign Up Genius because I'm doing it for FBA, but I just like
bubble it
promote
under,
it, you know what I mean?
that would be amazing.
Okay.
Thank
I'll
you.
take care of that, yeah.
Yeah, and I
'Cause we're
probably
gonna need
have,
somebody for an FBA tent anyway, so it's just like, might as well put that in.
we've pretty much bubbled that like info tent and FBA together.
That's what I
So,
thought, but
but I do have all of the hours that we've used for past ones I can send you.
cool, I'd love
so-
that, yeah. And then we just need some people to say that they'll talk to the businesses.
Yeah,
for
yeah, if
food.
anybody has any connections with the
I'll talk to
businesses.
Brian, of course.
Regino's.
Really easy to assume.
I can reach out to food vendors.
That would be great. Yeah, yeah, typically they've just offer, like Sharky's has done a burrito. I think the distillery did a meal up to $18. And then we put it on the back of their lanyards
And this is just for the artist.
just for the artists.
Yeah.
So 30 of them.
Yeah, we just look for some in-kind donations from the businesses.
Mhm.
Most of them are familiar anyways, so it's
Yeah, pretty much all of them have done this before. And we can ask Lorena too when
Yeah, I was
she's
gonna
back.
say meat pies is
Yeah,
I can text her.
probably an end.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, thank you.
yeah, I just wanted, I was like, do we know who's doing that? Because while we do have a little bit of time, next month is, okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully all of that stuff will be ready
And
to go by next month.
dinner's in.
Yep.
That's what I thought, cool.
Yep, he's good to go. We just have to chat about some background. If we want to use the same background that we used last year, which was like an artist did the mountains or whatever,
Yeah,
or if we use like a branded Fraser one since he's doing 2 music in the parks as well. So,
easy peasy, what else is?
Yep.
there?
the advocates did reach out. They're gonna set up a tent as well and sell some t-shirts that people have made. And then KFFR will be, I think both of them could be over in the mural park
Okay.
next to each other, make that easy. Blake will have True Penny smoothies and such. And I think she'll bring it over here for the awards thing as well. Camber and the distillery will be here for the awards.
Does True Penny want to do a donation to the artist?
I haven't asked her, but I have been emailing her, so
Since she'll already be here?
yeah, half off smoothie. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a full thing, like even a discount at the places is always nice too. So, yeah.
Sarah, you said you'll put up contracts for Dealer Takes Four and Andy Strauss? And then I'll coordinate with Adam and Andy on sound.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I can rope you in. I'll email Adam and chat with him, and then I'll copy you in that.
Okay.
Because if you guys do sound, that would be great. I don't know anything about that. Cool.
Did you guys decide on a final map of where the artists would be, or is that something that we're trying to figure out?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on Stephanie Best to get back to me. Beth, are you open to having 3 murals?
You can do as many as you want. I have the worst lawn in town, so
So we're,
let's kill the dandelions.
we're thinking 3 to 4 over there.
Do you think forward fit? We could do something on the driveway and I
Yeah.
could see if everybody would be willing
They
to
don't.
not park.
I already asked them.
Okay.
They're already down.
The driveway's full sun though.
Yeah.
Because of the spill of paint, I don't wanna have to come back in for the driveway.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot easier on the grass and
Would
there's enough.
4 fit on the,
I think so.
Two facing each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we've, yeah.
couple years ago, someone started painting and then never came back. It was
Yeah.
so weird.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to back, like in the center, and then. Well,
Why?
you could, I'm saying, if
Okay.
that's how it worked, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Sweet. I mean, if we could get 4 in there and then we have the info tent, would you do less murals in Goranson Park?
It will be 2 to 3 mil, but fine.
Okay.
Which they're normally spend 4, so that's what I was using in the hopes of Beth being supported and trying to use another one over to there and kind of make another pod, a pod across the street, a crosswalk, and a few pods down.
Cool.
So it's good.
Yep.
yeah, and I think, there's talk of, I mean, not that this matters too much, but there's talk of, the therapists at, Yellow House kind of setting up. Monica Charlotte had her, one of her skincare reps who was like handing out sunscreen, and I think that Shannon might do glitter, so.
Cool.
Yeah, there's, talk about potentially just,
Doing some fun stuff there.
might have been Shannon.
Oh yeah, that was Mackenzie Raymond.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the sunblock samples were a huge hit.
No kidding. No kidding. Yeah.
Yes, that the sun will be out.
Yeah.
Oh, are we, anything else on Mural Fest?
I think that wraps up all the things I have. If we're good on food stuff and volunteer, and then we'll figure out the map.
Okay.
Those are the big things.
There doesn't appear to be any large construction projects being scheduled
Woohoo.
completely without our consent, at the same exact time. this year.
So
For the
hopefully
first time,
no disruptions there.
Possible.
Joe, it's really hard to hear you, if maybe your
Oh.
microphone isn't on.
He was just telling us that there's no big construction projects planned
I'm sorry, Steve,
to
because
get in our way.
that light didn't come on earlier, so.
No worries. Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
So I have a couple things. First, the town has hired Mackenzie Foote to repaint the gardener shed. So that will be being repainted the last week of June, I think is when she's coming in. So you'll see a little refresh on that. Also a new sculpture went in Goranson, which is good. And then that feather one moved over to the bank where we have a bunch of new signs for everything, new plaques. So those will be going in. We also have a little issue with the current mural winner from last year, the commission award. So we've been working with Fraser Valley Elementary for the past 10 months. In my opinion, 10 months is enough to figure something out, and they should have something Steve's smiling. They should
Mhm.
have something squared away by now. So I talked to Graham, the artist, and we confirmed July 17th as the day that he'll come and start painting. There's been some issues with design and like how big the mural is gonna be, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I would like you guys to consider if they are not, I'm gonna kind of give them like July 1st is the last date that they can confirm that they have a design and it's gone to the board, the school board, or whoever they need to get approval from. And if they can't come to a decision by then we find a different place for the mural.
And use like the elementary school, just like try again this year.
Definitely
No,
not this year because we're
Oh,
doing
yeah, that's
Camber.
right.
Maybe in the future, but I don't.
I like the idea of having a backup location.
Yeah.
So if am I understanding correctly that it's like the elementary school is like maybe part of the issue?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they don't. They
Understood.
haven't liked the design. They've changed a lot of things, and they've had a lot.
Okay, so maybe it's like they would be lower on the totem pole.
Yeah,
There's a-
they sort of selectively engage and then, and I'm not casting aspersions, but then
Yeah.
expect really quick, engagement back,
Sure.
with the artist, and that
Understood.
hasn't happened. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layers of bureaucracy that they have to be fair, that they have to kind of work through.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a
which
lot of
means
hands in
it
their
needs
pot.
more pre-planning type of thing, but
Understood.
that's what.
Cool. So
I've talked to the artist about it too. And he is obviously open to painting at a different location and, kind of would prefer that if there isn't as much, micromanaging going on.
yeah.
So he's open to that too and is open to coming up with a different idea for a different location, blah, blah, blah.
This was
Um,
most recent.
And we want it to be a nice big wall,
last
so.
week.
Kind of
They don't
plan
like
a
it?
minute, like, I'm gonna share my.
Is the eagle
screen
too
here if I can
scary?
Find that.
Is that really it?
Too intimidating, and they don't like that the whole wall is covered.
Really? I think the whole I mean, whatever. It's not my
Well,
it's not my building.
yeah.
Well, and that was
Well,
what
that-
was originally
You guys
discussed.
See this
Yes.
online?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the wall that we're thinking of
The second wall. Okay, the second location. That's great.
as a backup. I haven't confirmed
Is that
with
the
the
Kepke
property
building?
owner because I wanted to get your approval before I moved forward with this idea. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Would it just be the wall on the side or also the front?
Yeah, there would just be the wall on the side, Steve.
Okay.
So that business or that property owner has gotten a grant from the town to do basically repaint the whole building anyway. So this would just be one last wall. And then it would also have like fresh paint on that whole building.
But I like Steve's idea, if it's a possibility to do both.
Both
Some of the
sides.
front,
Seen from a couple of different angles, if he's.
or
willing to
even
do
just
Yeah.
One, but it does.
part of the
kind
corner.
Offer an opportunity. The difficulty is trying to get it prepped in time, because I've already prepped the school. and-
Yeah.
And, we're close to having the other one for this year kind of prepped. But we need to reach out to them as far as a possibility.
Microphone.
If it doesn't happen, yeah, I see I've turned it on and the green came and
Here, just see this one.
it's gone off again.
Did.
I don't.
You just have such a beautiful place. I mean, I like it.
Does that person
favorite.
own the Worst Western as well?
No.
Would the Worst Western have any comment? Having
There
that
would
big mural?
probably not. They're very small buildings and they're tucked, further back, even than this. But it's just a matter of trying to make a decision quickly enough, getting his approval to do it so that we can do a couple of steps to be able to prep it so that the mural will last longer, just as we're trying to do with Camber, so that the mural will last longer, that's applied to it this year.
So in talking with Joe, we thought, like I said, July 1st would be the date that I'm gonna give Fraser Valley Elementary to make their decision. So he has enough time to
Mhm.
prep.
Because it's a fairly large addition into what is already a fairly full plate at this point in time.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yep,
Okay.
I think that's a solid
I
plan.
just feel like, almost a year in, we should have this figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for all
definitely.
your work on
Well,
that.
and it's not like the artist has been just sitting around. He just had a new baby. So it's like his life is so busy too. So it's just mutual
Well,
respect.
and he's obviously committed to projects that have been
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I make a motion to go with that plan.
I second that motion to go with that plan.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Thanks
just
for
always good to have an alternative.
All those
checking
in
into
favor?
that. And then,
I-
yeah, maybe we find a different artist some year in the future for
Maybe
the
like
school.
like a softer, more cartoony artist or something that
Mhm.
screams.
Or they find one.
Yeah. Or it happens when we do like a split of the commission prize, if we have a smaller wall and we do the $7,000, $3,000 one that we did, and then they just get something tiny on their wall in the back.
Can we paint a post office?
No,
We've talked
I know
about
it's general, but
it's about to, it really needs to be torn down
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
that
it
wall
does.
they were
Structurally.
supposed to, that was one of the big walls that we wanted to do.
from the very first year.
Yeah,
oh,
but
okay,
it's in
understood.
such poor shape
Yeah.
and they haven't gotten around to fixing it, so.
Well, there's only 2 employees, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's the owner.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
own it.
Yeah, they don't
It's
own
the
it.
owner.
Oh, okay. I thought that.
And it's soon not going to be the first building in town.
Right. Yeah, very soon. And there hopefully will be, you know, some consideration for that as the building that's further out of town comes into place. I
Right.
know that there's they're looking for some sculptor kind of things possibly eventually. But it may be necessary that if this does not work out with Mr. Kepke, that we have to make an arbitrary decision and just go to somebody else, you know, depending on what kind of goes through there.
What about the second option being I mean, it's not as visible from the highway, but it's still a very pivotal part of the community, the hockey arena. There's like a huge wall out there.
It's
It could be a third option.
yeah,
I feel like that would be easier to get them to say yes. You know,
possibly.
I I would prefer it in town,
Yeah.
obviously.
Because
Yeah,
it is outside
but
of town limits.
It's like a plan C,
Oh,
D,
yeah.
or E. You know?
But yeah,
Yeah.
certainly another option is something
Be
that
nice
we
to
hadn't
draw
thought
a
of
master
because it is
list of
outside of
options.
town limits.
Yeah, that's a great
I mean, the
idea.
distillery has asked
I
for a mural on their new build back by
For this mural fest, we like that start.
their little storehouse one too.
So there are
So,
options, you know,
we do have
but
things.
first choice would be the one that the guys voted on, but we may have
Yep.
to act pretty
Yep.
quickly, you know, if that.
I
who
mean,
knows?
I'd-
It's the best case scenario is going on this school and everybody will be
Right.
happy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a really cool family, so I'd be shocked if they were like, nah.
Anything else for the committee?
This is a short and sweet.
The,
Well, I do have one real quick thing. On July 3rd, Fraser Valley Arts is hosting the performance of Hamlet at the Foundry.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be at 1 o'clock. I'm trying to set up a session beforehand. And we were originally thinking about doing it right after, where Joe would tell people, you know, a little bit about the performance and do a educational talk. But then I noticed that the picnic in the park, which is on Tuesday of that week, was happening, and I thought it would be kind of ideal if we had it in advance. So what I'm currently planning, assuming Joe is available, is that from 5 to 6 at Simple Coffee, right before picnic in the park that night, we would host a reception where Joe could do his talk. We would invite anybody who's purchased a ticket, as well as some donors, and hopefully bring a little business to town. So it's mostly an FYI. Joe, you have a text from me and on your phone. Just let me know if that works when you can.
yep, I had it started texting back at the
Yeah,
beginning of the
I
meeting.
figured
That's July 1st, right?
that would be
It'll
July
be the
1st.
the Tuesday
Cool.
before
Yeah.
the production happens on
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday, isn't it? It's
Uh-huh. It's Friday.
it's a
It's
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, it's.
I think that's a good amount of time before and not, you know, seeing Hamlet into a 6-hour ordeal.
Mhm.
Exactly. And the
Yeah.
other thing I always try and do, as Callie knows, is we try whenever we can to bring some of the business to the town of Fraser proper. So this is a way of tying that in.
Cool. That's that simple, or do you need me to talk to Olivia?
I already, she and I have been texting all morning.
Cool. Let me know if you want help with that.
Will do.
Awesome.
I have a question regarding when you were talking about the donated meals or discounted meals for artists. How many are you usually trying to get total?
30.
There's 30 artists, so we would like, I mean,
But I mean,
Sharky's always does 30 burritos.
how many meals, you know, are we talking breakfast, lunch, supper for 3 days?
Not necessarily. No. I mean, I feel like as many as we can. A lot of artists aren't going to use them all.
And
Okay.
Stephanie Beth said she would do that as well, so you guys might want to coordinate,
Yeah.
so you're not hitting up the same.
Yeah. I mean, at least 5 offerings, I would think. I think
Okay.
previous
I'm
years we've
happy
had
to
5 or
make
more.
calls too. I can put my phone number in the chat, Beth,
Okay.
if you want to split that list up. Or Stephanie was doing it too.
No, not Stephanie.
Sorry. I did mean, yeah.
Okay.
Kristen.
Yeah.
Beth was also doing that.
That way you can divide and conquer. Are we doing merch for, or like handouts for Mural
Swag
Fest? Okay.
always.
Yeah, I kind of
Sarah's
assumed.
on it.
Yeah.
That was my question. Just a yes or no.
Yeah, it'll be like the usual stickers,
Okay.
block, whatever. Side.
Yeah.
Chapstick.
Yep.
You're doing another t-shirt.
Just wanted to make sure there's chapstick.
The staff, probably.
Cool. Perfect. Is it gonna say staff on back?
Stuff.
Security.
Stuff.
So stuff.
Stuff. Yeah, I'd like mine to say security. Extra small. All right.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's all we've got. Any other business to discuss?
I feel like we're nailing it.
I know.
Yeah.
This feels nice and smooth, guys.
Don't reinvent the wheel every year. It comes
I know.
it's smooth.
I know. So nice.
Is that it?
Cool.
Motion to
Move to adjourn.
I second.
Who made that
And
motion?
all are in favor.
I thank you.
Take it easy, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, I'll text you
Bye.
soon.
Okay, thanks, man.